What's up, and War Eagle War Report family? It's your guy Ike Jones, and we're back with another morning drop. You know, it's Facts or Not Friday, so we are going to be answering your question live and in effect. Y'all know how we do right here, War Report style. Let's drop it on them.
You are now listening to the War Report. Drop.
Morning drop Friday, January 19th. Ike Jones in here doing a little Facts or Not Friday. Hopefully, everybody is off to a wonderful start to their Friday. Before we get into the content, you guys could do us a favor by sharing this content, getting more people in here so we can get more questions answered today. You can go ahead and hit that thumbs up on that video whenever you feel like it. Now is a really good time. But, you know, if you want to wait a couple of seconds, no, just do it now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will greatly appreciate that. Went ahead and recorded the Twitter fam question portion of this with my guy B. Will last night. So I'm going to play that video. And when I come back from the video, then we'll get into your live questions that you have. So go ahead and throw those in the chat as you watch this. And we're going to get into this Facts or Not style. So we appreciate you guys dropping in with us. Let's get into the Twitter fam questions from last night. All right, folks, we are going to get into this Facts or Not style. Of course, as is the new custom, we're going to go into the questions from last week and see how those went. Now, B. Will, you weren't in here with me last week.
Oh, what?
We'll see how they went anyway. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
First and foremost, we have Facts or Not. Auburn's men's basketball will finish the regular season with 5 or less losses. Too soon to tell. Don't know whether this is going to be facts or not, but I still say that this is going to be a nod. They're going to get more than 5 losses. That's only three games, man. That's all you got to lose is 3 games to get to 5. So you already lost 2. So,
that's true.
Yeah. This basketball team makes it to the Elite 8 or better this season. Still too early to tell. I said that this one was going to be facts because I feel like, you know, good team. Make it to Elite 8, sure. Facts or Not, Auburn's men's basketball makes the Final 4, which, again, I didn't want to go that far. But Freeze lands a top 5 recruiting class for 25 to keep the momentum going for Auburn just in time. Again, too early on this. Y'all asking us to predict next year's recruiting class. It's a little too far out, but, you know, hey, we'll see. But I did think that it is possible, top 5 maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Facts or Not, Auburn will land some Alabama transfers in the wake of the Saban leaving. This one proved to be facts.
It did. It did indeed.
So we got that one. Oh, and then the last one here. 1 year from now, Auburn has a higher ranked recruiting class than Alabama.
Could be.
Yeah, possible. You know, I don't know.
Possible.
I think that one's probable at this point in time because who knows what the collapse of the Bama dynasty looks like. So
I mean, they got guys who just signed this class getting out.
Trying to get up out of there, yeah.
So their class grade could be plummeting. By the end of the spring, we could have a better incoming class than them. So we shall see.
Yeah, we definitely will see. All right, now let's get into this week's Twitter fam questions. We appreciate everybody who submitted questions. You know, even though a lot of people are just really doing stuff to troll at this point in time, we still tried to find 5 good ones for y'all. So here we go, Facts or Not style for this week.
All right.
First one from our guy Thomas Jones, who's tweeting at BigCool9999, who says Facts or Not, Auburn will name their new DC by January 27th. This is an oddly specific date.
Very.
I don't know what the significance of January 27th is, but B. Will, what say you?
I say facts. I say facts because I don't think he wants to wait. Hugh Freeze will want to wait longer than this. If we work backwards in terms of the schedule for Auburn football, we know A-Day is the first Saturday in April, which means that spring camp actually starts 4 to 5 weeks before that, which will put it in early March or late February, which means they're probably doing their spring workouts, getting ready for spring camp, where they just get their bodies in shape.
Some videos today of them already.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
out
They're already working out. So I would imagine You need this guy in here to get ready and to get his game plan together as he puts his head together with Charles Kelly and figure out what are we going to be doing in spring. You got to get that going sooner than later. So I can definitely see why this needs to be done by next Saturday, which would be January 27th. Facts.
Yeah, if this lingers on until next Saturday, man, I just don't know what to say about it. I'm gonna go facts just off of the fact that I said it should be done by the end of this week. So,
Yeah.
you know, well, let's go ahead and make it happen. Facts. Shay tweeting at Shay underscore Presley, who says, facts or nah, Cam Coleman leads Auburn in touchdown receptions in 2024.
Hmm. It's a very good question. Who's the quarterback? That's always going to be my question, because if they trust the quarterback to make throws, then sure, a wide receiver could lead. But if you don't, then it's more likely to be a tight end. I just don't. There's no way to tell. This quarterback situation is so wide open and so unpredictable. But I'm gonna say nah. I'm gonna say nah. Not because Cam Coleman isn't that talented. We all think and believe that he is, but we got a lot of other talented wide receivers who are just coming in as well. I see Rivaldo Fairweather being our leading touchdown reception person, regardless of who's at wide receiver, just because he's a target that is already familiar with what's going on down here. These other guys are going to have to get in where they fit in year one. I'm going to say nah to this one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go nah as well. I think the security blanket for either a Peyton Thorne who's trying to get himself into the season is going to be somebody he's more familiar with, which is going to be like a Rivaldo Fairweather, Jay Fair, or a security blanket for an inexperienced quarterback is usually going to be a big target like the tight end, right? So I'm going to go nah on this one. I think that Cam Coleman's supremely talented and probably will play a lot of snaps for Auburn next season. Don't see him leading in touchdowns in his freshman campaign. I'll go nah.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr jumps in tweeting at Stevie underscore boy 95 saying facts or nah, both the men and women's make Sweet 16 and hopefully more. So we had a Sweet 16 question last week, another Sweet 16 incorporating the women in this time. B Will, what say you?
I'm going to say nah right now. And the reason is I think the men are poised for Sweet 16 and more. The women have so much potential, but they've got to get some consistency. They are playing up to expectations and probably passed it with the game at home against LSU, but they went on the road and dropped a winnable game against Vanderbilt. That inconsistency will have them either very low in tournament seeding and not primed to make a run to the Sweet 16, or missing it. They've got to get consistency and find that level of play that they had at home day after day. And I am not sure if they can do it. We are, of course, hoping that they do, but I haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to say nah to both because I'm not sure if the women are quite ready for the spotlight yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go nah right now on this as well. I mean, Sweet 16 means that you got to win 2 games in the tournament. Right now, they got to make the tournament. And though I do believe that this is a team that's capable of making the tourney, to your point, they've got to be a little bit more consistent, specifically on the offensive end. This defense is good enough to win basketball games. That offense needs to get better for this women's team in order for them to be able to compete with tournament level teams, right? Like you can beat the occasional rival in your conference and even the bottom end of the conference. But when you get to the tournament, everybody's good, right? And then that becomes about seeding and, who you end up playing in matchups and all that sort of thing. As much faith as I have in them to be able to make the tournament, I'm not ready to call them getting 2 wins in the tournament just yet. So for today, I'll go nah on this.
All right. All right.
Daniel Moultrie comes in tweeting at dmoultrie55_56 saying facts are not Auburn lands another Bama transfer. We already got one last week that we said, hey, sure, we'll get one. Do you see a second in the future for Auburn?
I do not. I do not. I think we probably have exhausted all of our transfer portal funds, if there were such a thing. Just looking at the guys that we have gone after, that we have shown interest in, either Charles Kelly, somebody who is not yet here, and the defensive coordinator is going to have a beat on the guy and says, I know you, you know me, come on, let's make it happen. A relationship could get us one, but we don't have anybody else who's not already here that's coming from Bama to pull a Bama recruit away if they do jump in the portal. I definitely think more Bama players will jump in the portal, but I don't think they're destined for here. Texas apparently is just the landing spot for 99% of them. So I think we got what we need, though. And that's what we're looking at. High school, we got a lot. Now we filled a couple of very important spots, tight end, cornerback, safety in the transfer portal so far. I don't think we have any more needs that are super pressing.
I think I'm gonna go facts on this, man. I thought about this and I was
What?
gonna go nah, but there are a couple of guys that during right now, maybe not, but post spring, I could see it happening.
Hmm.
I could see somebody from Bama being like, you know what, I tried to give this new dude a chance. It was really kind of down to the wire between, I'm not one of those bleed crimson and white guys. I just wanted to come play football somewhere where I thought I could win championships, and I don't see it happening right now for these guys. So I'm going to go with the momentum swing towards the other side because I was close to going there anyway. I could see
Hmm.
it happening post spring. I don't see it happening in the near term, but I could see a post spring transfer from the other side of the state
You know
happening.
what? There were a couple of defensive linemen that it came down to the wire with from over there, huh?
Yeah, there were.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it's possible. It's possible.
All
I'm
right.
I'm gonna go facts on this, and only because there are a couple people I have in mind that I'm like, hey man, just go on, do what you got
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about those guys. I still say no, but that is a good point though.
Yeah. Let's see here. Last one. Professor Vader tweeting at M Jizzle Shizzle
Hmm.
says
Hmm.
Auburn beats broken ugly Ole Miss by 15 plus points. Facts or not? We're talking about the Ole Miss game happening this Saturday between Auburn men's basketball and Ole Miss. What say you, B. Will?
I actually, if I had to guess, I'm going to say facts. You
Mm-hmm.
know, God bless Alan Flanagan. I think he's going to want to get it back in blood. He's probably going to play like a man possessed, but I still don't think Ole Miss is that good. I was not surprised to see them getting beat as they open conference play. Hmm. You know, 15 is not, that's not an insult considering how I've seen us play this year.
Right.
If it was just, oh, well, they're Ole Miss and we're Auburn, but we're going to beat them. Yeah, but if we're okay, but we are a very, very good team. I'm trying hard not to call us an elite basketball team this season. I think that we are, but I think we just have it like that, especially at home. So I'm going to say facts.
Um, I'm gonna say no on this. I don't think
Mhm.
15 plus is the number. Ole Miss is they're a respectable team. They shoot the three really well. I think any team that shoots the three well is a team that has a chance to keep it close against Auburn. That's what allowed LSU to close that gap. Is just they came in and they knocked down some threes while Auburn wasn't scoring, and Auburn eventually wins that game in double figures, but not by 15 plus, right?
What was
Uh,
it, 14?
I don't remember what the score was. Let's take a look and see. The final
I think
score of
that was
that
a
LSU
14-point
game
win.
was 78-93. What's that?
15.
Oh, it's exactly 15. All right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that, and I think that Ole Miss is a little bit better defensively as far as just being able to defend the rim. So I don't know. I don't see 15 plus, but Auburn can absolutely win this game. This is not a game that Ole Miss should win. Auburn should win it, but I don't know. I'm gonna give Ole Miss the benefit of the doubt and say that they will not get beat by more than 15. It being a home game has me very skeptical though. Like if this was on the road, I'd
Mm.
be heck nah. But at home, Auburn's got a chance to jungle in there going crazy. But for right now, I'll say nah on that one.
All right. All right.
All right, that is it. So we are going to get over into your questions in just a minute. We appreciate you guys jumping in here with us on Facts or Not Friday.
Mhm.
That's it for the pre-recorded portion of this. We're going to get over into your questions and comments right here live on Friday's Facts or Not, which is brought to you by Rogue Shop. Head over to rogueshop.com using code RAPPORT when you do. That'll get you a little something off of your purchase. Sleep, stress, anxiety, pain relief. The Rogue Shop's got something for you. America's #1 online dispensary is the Rogue Shop. Make sure you head over to rogueshop.com and support the folks that support the War Report. All right. It's your time. Live chat. Let's see what you guys got. Facts or Nah Friday. We will get it kicked off with P Pass, who says, Facts or Nah, Derek Nix is the celebrity sign holder Saturday. You've been pushing for this, for Nix being the celebrity sign holder. I don't have a first clue who's going to be the celebrity sign holder, but it makes a lot of sense. Why not bring your new OC out there? Um, I don't know. They're playing Ole Miss. I am in favor of the slight bit of petty that's involved with that. So I'm going to go facts on this and say we get Derek Nix to be the celebrity sign holder versus Ole Miss, him being at Ole Miss all that time. We'll go facts just because I like the idea of that kind of happening. Derek Anderson jumps in and says, facts or not, it would be more beneficial to start Holden or Hank Brown over bringing in another one-year QB to learn the system, the whole system, and in parenthesis, McLeod. First and foremost, that whole McLeod thing wasn't real. So he said himself that he has not signed with Auburn or had any contact with Auburn. So that was, I don't know where that story originated. So I don't know what the deal is there. But as far as would it be better to start one of those guys rather than bringing in a one-year person? Depends on who the one-year QB is. I can't think of a person right now off of the top of my head except maybe the Tiger Loa kid that's still out there in the portal that I think would be a good one-year QB. And, that's not – I haven't really looked at all the QBs in the portal, but I can't think of a lot of options that would be a one-year quarterback that would make more sense than just building on what you have. And if you're going to have a one-year project, might as well just stick with Peyton Thorne. I know Peyton Thorne's not the popular choice there, but, I think year two for every quarterback has an opportunity to improve year over year. There's no reason why Peyton Thorne couldn't. I'm not talking about what his respective ceiling and floors are. I'm just talking about improvement year over year. So I don't have any issue with just keeping the quarterback room what it is and moving forward with those guys and seeing who the best one is and starting with those rather than trying to go out and find a rental. Chris S. jumps in and says, facts or nah, we are still taking the QB in the portal. I am going to have to go with nah right now on this. I don't see any movement happening at quarterback again. I don't know that there are really any good options. I would not be in favor of going and getting a summer transfer quarterback and being right back in this position where you have a bunch of – I don't know that there's going to be a quality quarterback that will be coming in the second transfer window that would make a lot of sense to be at Auburn next season. The only way that this changes in my mind is if you go out here and after spring, one of the guys that are currently in your quarterback room transfer out and you need to bring someone else in to replace that. I don't know why, if you have Peyton Thorne, Holden Geriner, Hank Brown, and Walker White on your team, you need to go and get another transfer quarterback to bring in. I don't know why. So unless one of those four young men, which we know it's not going to be Walker White, it likely will not be Hank Brown. So unless one of those other two in Holden Geriner or Peyton Thorne exits via the transfer portal, there's not a need to go and bring in another one in the transfer portal, in my opinion. So I don't think that that's going to be the thing. I don't know that we go out of the spring, and one of those guys hasn't made significant enough movement for you to feel like, oh, we just got to go get somebody for next year, because one of these four can't be the guy. So I'm going to go no on that. Dana Jones jumps in. Facts or not, the QB pecking order will still be very much in flux when we go into the fall. I'm going to say facts on this because I think that, whether or not, when we say pecking order, I'm talking about more than just who the QB1 is. I don't know that there is going to necessarily be a surefire. We're definitely going to have this guy at QB1. I still say, again, despite what everybody feels like, how I feel about people and not, I still say that Peyton Thorne is the incumbent starter and it is his job to lose, but he opened that door to a legitimate competition. So I do think, I don't want to say I think, I hope that we will have an actual QB competition this spring and everyone will get an opportunity to get a chance to be that guy. But I don't think that it's going to get settled in the spring. I think that we will go into the fall, and there still will be who's going to be QB1, QB2 even. I don't think that the first two are going to be solidified. I don't think two guys move themselves into complete, hey, these are going to be our solid two. when we get out of spring and we're going into fall, there's still going to be questions about who's going to be the starting and backup quarterback for Auburn University going into next season. JJ Brand, just because you make 832 jokes, I got to get one of them up here on screen. Facts or not, with the hiring of Derek Nix, Freeze's offense will have some much needed continuity. Um, I don't know that you can call it continuity, considering it's not going to be the same offense that it was last year. So I have to say nah, just on the fact. But you wanted to get the continuity buzzword in here. I got you. It's not going to be continuity from last year. It will be more of what Coach Freeze wants to do offensively going into this season. So he will be able to bring that, but it's going to be something new for the vast majority of the people who will be playing the snaps with it. So no, from the continuity standpoint, yes, from the fact that there will be more synergy. I'll use a different buzzword, more synergy between coach and OC in this offense coming up this year with an OC that is not, he doesn't really have his own offense to be able to try to come in and install. So it's going to be Coach Freeze's concepts that he'll be iterating on and maybe adding some little things to that he's been picking up over the years. So not to this question, but facts to some synergy going on right there. All right, let's see what else we got out of here. Plenty of comments out here. Chris S says Faxon on men's basketball goes 4-3 in February. You're going to make me have to go pull up a schedule to see who we play in February to answer this question. Golly, y'all making me do some work and try to research on the spot. I don't know what the Auburn men's basketball schedule is in February. Let's see what we got. All right, for February, Auburn plays at Ole Miss. We play Ole Miss that close together? Ooh, all right. At Ole Miss, home against Bama, at Florida, and home against South Carolina, home against Kentucky, at Georgia, at Tennessee. That's rough. 4-3. Do we drop 3 of these games is the question you're asking me. Tough game at Ole Miss. Tough game versus Kentucky. Tough game at Tennessee. Those would be the 3 that I would assume would be the potential losses on that. Florida is kind of a gotcha one at Florida, too. I think you beat South Carolina at home. I think you beat Bama at home. I think you can beat Georgia on the road. I think you can beat. I'll say. I'll go with facts on this. I think if that's the stretch that you likely will lose 3 games, when I talked about, I see that this team could potentially lose 3 games. That February stretch could potentially be where it happens. That's a tough stretch in February, man. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's a tough stretch in February. We'll see what happens. I'll go facts on this, but yeah. See what else we got here. A lot of you guys answering each other's questions in here. Let's see. Texas Charlie says, facts or not, football only QB to hit the wide receiver in. Well, I don't even like that's. I don't even know what that says. That's too much for me to try to sort out while trying to read live. I hit it because I saw facts or not on it, but I don't want to try to figure out. Try to make that make more sense for me, and maybe I'll come back to that question. Let's see here. Steve Bradley, facts or not, we have a DC hired by next Wednesday. Well, we kind of answered this one in the questions that we had in before, so I still say facts for that one. We should have a defensive coordinator by the end of next week for sure. By next Wednesday, I would hope so. I really wanted that to be done by tomorrow. So, hey, but listen, I'm not the one that's got to deal with it. Let's see. Tom Colbrith. Actually, we kind of already answered this with the other question. Facts or not, Auburn's men's basketball loses no more than 2 games in the SEC and wins the regular season. I'm not sure on this one. I still say that they got 3 losses coming up, and just because they might lose one that they shouldn't, and then they'll lose a couple that they probably are going to be evenly contested in. I would love to see them, do this and win the regular season championship. If they get out of here and lose less than 2, then they definitely should win, because everyone. I mean, there's only one other team, and that's Bama, right, in the conference. If I'm not mistaken, that has not lost a game in conference. Let me just make sure I'm not making that up. But there's only 2 undefeateds left in the SEC. I'm scrolling, Southwestern. Why did it skip? Oh, there we go, Southeastern. Right, so Auburn and Alabama are the only undefeateds left in conference. So if Auburn only loses 2 games and one of those wins is versus Bama, then Auburn would definitely win. But I still do think there's a possibility that Auburn drops 3. And the question is, that would just negate half of your facts in our question. Is you can still win the conference and lose 3, but we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. I don't see any others in here. A lot of questions, but no facts or not questions. So we'll get out of here. I appreciate you guys dropping in here with me today. As always, Facts or Not and the Morning Drop is brought to you by guys at Rogue Shop. Make sure you hit up rogueshop.com using code RAPPORT. And we will get back at you guys tomorrow with a little more basketball talk. Auburn takes on Ole Miss in the jungle. Make sure you're locked in here for the pregame and postgame tomorrow. Before you get out of here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content with somebody else. Until the next time, and as always, War Eagle.
Drop!